Hot Springs National Park was first set aside by Congress in 1832 to protect the thermal springs that flow here. And these thermal springs were thought to have healing and curative properties in the early days before modern medicine. So as people started to travel here, they built these very eloquent and grandiose bathhouses. And before modern medicine, doctors actually used to make prescriptions for folks to come to these bathhouses and take a bath, drink the thermal springs water, and then go on a hike on one of our trails on Hot Springs Mountain. And after the creation of the National Park Service in 1916, Congress changed our name to Hot Springs National Park in 1921. So today we are celebrating 100 years with that official designation.
Tell us about the water, the temperature of the water, and the source of the water.
So this water actually comes out of the ground at 143 degrees Fahrenheit. And it originally fell as rain 4,000 years ago, which is roughly when the pyramids of Egypt were being built. And so when this water hits the ground, it follows these cracks in the earth and it travels 6,000 to 8,000 feet deep, where it is slowly heated as it makes its way closer and closer to the Earth's core before it reaches the fault lines at the base of Hot Springs Mountain and comes out of the ground. So all of the water here is geothermally heated. There's no volcanic activity, so that means there's no smell, there's no taste, and the water is very clean and very pure. In fact, it's so pure that we have thermal fountains throughout the park where folks can fill up their cups or their jugs with the thermal springs to try for themselves.
Now, how do people interact with this thermal water?
Well, in a number of ways, like I mentioned, we do have thermal jug fountains throughout the park where folks can drink the water. We also have several display springs like the one behind me here where folks can touch and see the water. But we also have two bathhouses that are operating as bathhouses where folks can get in and take a bath and soak in the spring water. And finally, we even have a brewery that makes root beer and beer from the water itself. So you could pick a number of ways to interact with the springs.
Now, how has the park changed over the years?
Like most things, the park has changed quite a bit in the last 100 plus years, most notably since the practice of public bathing has declined with the advent of modern medicine and with us all having our own private bathrooms in our homes. That's not as popular as it once was. But since there are still a couple of bathhouses with that option, people do still come here to soak. But at the heart of our park, really, the thing that hasn't changed is the thermal springs themselves. They've been flowing for the last 4,000 years, and as we look to the future, we hope they will continue to do so.
Now, tell us about some of the special events going on in the park during your 100th year anniversary, your centennial.
Certainly. So, because the centennial only happens once every 100 years, we wanted to do all we could to celebrate. So, we do have a couple of year long events that are taking place, but we also wanted to have special themed monthly events happening as well. So, our next event is July 3rd. We're having a Bark Ranger Day. And then August 7th, we'll be having a Junior Ranger Day. And in September, we'll be celebrating the Thermal Springs with the Thermal Springs Festival.
How can people get more information?
You can always find more information on our park website, which is nps.gov/HOSP. But we're also really active on social media, and you can find us on Facebook or Instagram with the handle @HotSpringsNPS.